Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Unraveling the Darkness. Tonight, we do have a younger team, started in 2024, husband and wife team out of New Cambria, Kansas. We are going to talk to Sunflower State Paranormal Investigators tonight here on Unraveling the Darkness. Good evening, everyone. How are you doing tonight? I am here tonight. Jason is stuck in that work life. That's been happening quite a bit, but we're going to get him free and have him back soon. So we are excited for everyone tonight to watch the show. We had this team scheduled for last week, but some unforeseen weather circumstances changed that. So tonight we're going to talk to Gary and Dovie of Sunflower State Paranormal Investigators. Good evening, guys. How you doing?
Doing all right. About yourself?
Doing good. We had you scheduled for last week, and at the last minute we had to cancel because you had no power.
Yeah, the 113 mile an hour winds toppled over a lot of power poles and stuff. So yeah, we were without power until about Thursday night, but we were able to go to Kansas City and spend some time with family and enjoy some air conditioning for those hot days. So.
I bet. I think I saw a post.
What inconvenient.
I think I saw a post where you were sitting in the car with the cats because that's what had air conditioning.
Yes.
So you got to do what you got to do, right?
Oh, definitely. We definitely had to do it for the cats. So,
the Kansas power people probably need to come to Wyoming. 100-mile-per-hour winds are nothing for us. We had some earlier this year. We didn't have any power poles go down. We just had people's fences kind of go. So we're pretty lucky that way that over the years they figured out what to do here with that kind of wind. So younger team, you guys have been investigating since 24?
Together, yes. I've actually investigated and such probably about, it's going to make me sound a little old, probably about a couple decades ago with some friends in high school. We had our own little team then, and it was just some couple of us friends from high school, and we would just investigate each other's houses. Okay. Yeah, it's been a little while for me. So,
and Dovie, how about you?
I don't have much experience prior to investigating
together. Sure. So got together, decided to make a team, Sunflower State Paranormal Investigators. I think everyone kind of knows that that's Kansas. So what are you doing in the Kansas area? I mean, there's so many haunts out there. We went out there, our team went out there a couple of years ago to Whiteface House in Yates Center. And this year we're going back to Kansas. We're going to do the Garnett House.
Oh.
We're going to do 2 nights there this year. So we're super excited. When we talk to teams like Penn Paranormal, who's like, our first time in, 4.5 hours in, we had to leave. Like, we need to be there.
Yeah, we've not, unfortunately, we've not had the chance to go into Garnett. I know we were slated to go, I think, about this time last year, but I'm not for sure if the Grinner wasn't ready for us yet or what it was, but her stepfather, he took ill and then passed away around the time that we were wanting to go. So we didn't have the opportunity to get to go. So hopefully, if not this year, definitely next year is on for us to go to Garnett. So
where have you been investigating? What have you done?
So our first public place that we went to that we paid for was Sleeper Mortuary in Iowa, which is about 30 minutes or so south of Garnett.
Mm-hmm.
And it's owned by our friend Tori Westhoff. Really great place to go. The other place that we've been to is the Aurora Brothel in Aurora, Missouri. We got to go there with Show Me Something Spooky.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty interesting to go to. And then the only other place that we've done repeatedly is Old Abilene Town, which we are paranormal liaisons for. So we've gone there a few times, investigated there. It's one of our favorite places to go to. So yeah, it's.
And then we did that public investigation.
Yeah, we did do. We went to a Paracon last year in Ellenwood, Kansas, and it was the Wolf Hotel in Ellenwood Underground Tunnels that we went and
nice.
did. We got to do that with Dustin Pari from Ghost Hunters. So that was pretty fun to go and do.
Let's step back to the Aurora Brothel. We had Myra on from the Aurora Brothel. It sounds like a great place. What kind of evidence were you catching there?
I know that there's at one point we got some smells. There was, I think you and Haley went down in the basement by yourself, and I can't remember what all did you guys get.
When we were doing the Estes, we were getting kind of some garble, but we were also getting some names in it. Although to tell you the list of names now, I wouldn't be able to because it's been a while.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like a pretty neat place. It's a pretty large building from what we've been told.
Yeah, it's decently large.
Yeah, you get the whole place for the night.
So we had access
basement
to 3 floors.
the basement, first floor, and then second floor. So that was I do believe I think I seen something moving on one end of the upstairs, and I think we were all upstairs, and there's like a little attic crawl space area. I mean, you kind of like, not really crawl space, but you kind of go in there, and there was something moving around up in there. So
yeah, nice. Sleeper Mortuary. We ended up going over to Iola from Yates Center because we came out of the Whiteface house to a dead battery on the car and had to go over there to Walmart. Yeah, it was pretty exciting. You know, we came out, it's like 6 a.m. We're all tired. We've loaded up the car. We go to turn it on and it is dead. We all Jason had driven his car over. We all pile in this little Mazda. I don't even know what model, but we all pile in that, go get like 2 hours sleep and have to go over to Iola and get a battery. So we saw Sleeper Mortuary, but I don't know. This was a few years ago that we did Whiteface. So, but I think that was just starting to come around. I know some of our other friends, like the Chumming with the Spirits guys, do some stuff there. Tell us about Sleeper. What have you captured at Sleeper?
So I have to scour our paranormal TikTok, but I do have a clip where there was no lights. I was on my cell phone. I had no infrared lights, just no lights in general. And like in the bottom right-hand corner, you see like a white, it was like a light that like drizzles down. That was something that we captured. We had kept seeing like starbursts. Like we'd be like in the flower room looking out the window, or even down in the casket room looking back towards the doors, towards the front of the building, and you would see like little flashes of light. And we actually got to do it when she first opened it to the public. We got to go in the night before we went in and investigated there. At the time, it was L&M Paranormal. They're no longer part of the paranormal anymore. We got to go in with them, and then you mentioned earlier, Penn. We got to meet Ashley for the first time there. We think we had a spirit crossover in the embalming room. So that was pretty interesting for us to experience. And then like the very first time I actually got to experience in person someone doing the Estes method was them talking about a dream that I had. So 3 days before we even went to Sleeper Mortuary, I've never been to the building a day in my life. So I'd only seen like pictures and stuff that Tori had sent to me. So I had a dream 3 nights before, and basically me and her are asleep and something was calling my name. And I left the room that we were sleeping in, which odd enough, she didn't send no pictures of the bedroom in general that any of the bedrooms. And we actually ended up picking the same room that I was in my dream, and walked down some stairs through this garage and into the casket room. And at the time she had no caskets at all. But for some reason there was like modernized caskets, like the big caskets that you see, you know, when you go to a normal funeral. And a couple of them are opened up and everything. And I bump into one and I literally hear someone go, "Hey, I'm sleeping here." And I peeked in there and there was nobody in there. So that was pretty interesting to go through. And then we go, and then I get to see it firsthand in person. And like we went to go up to the flower room, and Leah and Mike are in there doing the Estes method. Well, Leah is, and Mike was just recording, and she turned to face in the direction I was standing and was talking about the dream I had, and was talking about it was my validation. So that was pretty interesting.
She was under for Estes, right?
Yes.
Oh,
yep.
Geez.
Yeah, she had the blindfold on, headphones on, and she was just relaying what she was hearing. And it was, to me, it was pretty crazy, because like the only person that I told about this dream was Dovie. So I didn't tell Tori, I didn't tell anybody else that was going to be there until after all was said and done. So that was pretty cool.
It's pretty crazy, because that kind of goes back. Earlier today I posted on our page, do you think spirits can hear your thoughts? Right? So that kind of goes back to that. Like they're relaying your dream that you had probably thought of a couple times. Now they're relaying that. So that kind of says, yeah, they can hear our thoughts, right?
Yes.
That can be scary. I mean, there's just some things that you don't want out there.
Oh yeah.
So L&M used to have the old Abilene, right? They were the liaisons. Yep. And then you guys have that now. So what's that like? Let's talk about old Abilene town. Let's talk about the town first. What does it consist of?
So the town consists of, there is like they have a hotel. So the hotel there that's on the grounds is a replica of the actual Merchant Hotel itself. The guy that had that built, he had his home built to look like the Merchant Hotel that was built years ago. But he just kind of did like a shorter version of it. So that they moved it in place to where it sits now, and it sits right across from like the Alamo Saloon. That's basically obviously their bar. You know, they have their dancers and sell a little bit of things there. Then you have that. What they have is the jail is an old cottage, and
it is the original.
Yeah, it is original. It is actually the cottage that Wild Bill Hickok lived in when he was there back in that time period. So they basically took it and converted it into their little town jail. And then there's the schoolhouse, those are the only 4 places that we actually have investigated. There's a lot more places that we can investigate. We just haven't gotten the chance to, because usually either they had stuff that was set up for their events, or it was basically they'd winterized a lot of the other buildings and stuff, and so they weren't opening them back up until it got warmer out. So yeah,
this is like a little old west town that people can go visit during the day. Are they doing so they have like a bar where they can go in and get drinks and stuff, and then just merchandise? Are they doing anything else like gunfights or anything like that?
Yes, they do gunfight reenactments. They do them every Saturday during the summer season. I think from like May to.
So they also do Sundays.
Well, I know it's every Saturday from like May to like I think like sometime September. And then they do some Sundays, but towards when school starts back up, they kind of just roll back doing on Sundays. So it's mainly Saturdays that they do them.
Okay.
And trying to think what else. Yeah, they've got the gunfights, they've got the dancers and stuff. They do like little bag like chips and sarsaparilla and stuff like that.
Nice. Our watchers probably don't know, but I am a life member of the Cheyenne Gunslingers. We kind of do the same thing. We do gunfights for tourists throughout the summer. We start in June and go through July. So it's pretty cool to know that there's other places out there in towns that are doing this stuff, and people can go see that. Pretty neat. What kind of stuff are you catching in these buildings in Old Abilene Town?
So for me, there is in the Merchant Hotel, the first floor. So there's two spirits that are in the hotel. There is, we have not gotten her name yet, but she's basically like a grandmother type spirit, very caring, very loving type spirit. And then up in the upstairs portion, there is a 16-year-old girl that's named Liz. And back then, during that time frame, basically it kind of went to the mindset that if, for women, if you can bleed, you can breed. So there was a lot of these 14, 15, 16-year-old girls that were selling themselves to make ends meet and everything. And of course, cowboys during that time frame, cattle drives and all that stuff, a lot of them got a little too rough, and a lot of them would either it was accidental or even on purpose, basically end the life of these young women. And so we have Liz, who's 16, that she roams around upstairs. So when we walk into, the first time I ever walked into the hotel was back when Leah and Mike had it. And after they'd left, I started to smell like original coffee, like Folgers Original. And there's no coffee maker that was turned on. So I basically told the spirit, thank you so much for brewing me coffee. Can't wait to have some. And every single time I go in there, I always smell coffee. And every single time I go in there, I thank her for brewing me a pot and go about doing my thing. The one thing that she doesn't like, and if anybody ever comes out there to even investigate at night, is you don't mess with the little rolling buggy that's on the first floor in the dining area. And always put things back the way you found it, because she doesn't like it. So like if you throw trash in somewhere, she will take it, she will fling it. We've not had any of that. Oh yes.
So definitely don't leave a mess.
Yeah, don't leave a mess because she'll get angry. So typical grandmother stuff, but she basically allows Liz to be in the hotel, but she has her confined to the upstairs. Right now, the upstairs is off limits because they are in the process of reworking and basically upgrading the structural system on it, because a lot of this stuff is original. This stuff has been there for decades. So they're in the process of reworking it. So the one time I actually got to sit up at the top of the stairs, I didn't dare venture any further from the stairs.
Yeah, it was not safe.
But you would hear somebody walking around, even in the dark. Like you would sit there and ask questions, and you would hear something shuffle across the floor, like they were just shuffling across or walking across. So that was some stuff that we've captured or we've heard in the hotel itself. We're not for sure which spirit it is that likes to lock the front door. So make sure that you have the back door unlocked so that you can get into the building, because they will lock you out. The most that Liz does is she'll come down the stairs and she will open the door to the stairs, which is lined up to the front door. And they think that she's the one that, when she opens the door, she doesn't leave the stairs. And so we think that the grandmother spirit goes and locks the door to keep her from leaving. So, and then we had over in the saloon, Dovie was actually walking down a hallway, and a ball of light actually went across her back and disappeared like halfway across her back. So that's some of the stuff that We've dealt with the old schoolhouse that they have out there. The only spirit that's kind of in there was one that was brought over from some teenagers who decided to bring alcohol and a Ouija board one night, broke into the schoolhouse and basically brought something over. Now it's kind of tamed a little bit, but it lives on the ceiling and it will crawl across the ceiling. We have not dealt with that part yet.
We've not seen.
Yeah, we haven't seen that one because it'll crawl across the ceiling, but it does have its own little doppelganger that will walk alongside you, and you'll just see another shadow as you walk. The only thing that we've ever gotten in the schoolhouse itself was she was toying with the piano that's in there, and we had a trip rope, and it lit the whole trip rope up, and then that was basically about it. There wasn't a whole lot else that it was doing. I think that was the first time that we investigated that particular night, and we do have plans of going back more often to deal with more of the spirits. And then we've not really gotten anything in the old jail. So
have you done any trigger type stuff like the old saloon music, like in the saloon, or acting like a teacher while you're in the schoolhouse?
Not yet. That is some stuff that we plan on doing on our next trip out there.
So that is a good idea, considering that I got the trigger with the
while
piano.
You were playing with the piano. Yeah, I would say that's something. Like I said, that's something that we plan on working on when we.
Music seems to be a big trigger. We've done music at the Dumas brothel up in Montana, and we were able to do like over a century of music, because it was a brothel from 1890 to like 1983. So we were able to do like old time music, but like stuff in the 40s, 50s, 70s. So it was pretty cool. And wow, quite the trigger. We, of course, being out west like you guys, have saloons, and that saloon music usually kicks some stuff up. So always worth a try.
Right. And then, of course, the only other thing that I've gotten was outside. They have 2 boardwalk type locations that basically there's one that runs from the Merchant Hotel all the way down to the jail. And then there's one across that runs from the saloon all the way down to the end of that little strip mall type setup that they have there. And the only thing I've ever gotten was a boot walking across the one by the Merchant Hotel. And it was right between the Merchant Hotel and the pavilion that they have out there. So that's the only one that I've gotten to hear boot wise. So that was pretty cool.
Oh. What's in the future for Sunflower State? What are you guys looking to do? I mean, you're the liaison for this town. So what does that incorporate? Do people contact you to do investigations?
Yeah. So we are your point of contact for the paranormal stuff. Now they have had people reach out, and basically they would give our contact info or a way to reach out to us, so that they can talk to us directly. And then we're kind of the middleman between like you guys and wanting to come out there. So we'll, you talk to us, we'll patch over like the dates that you have in mind of wanting to come out. We'll talk to our point of contact. He'll look on the calendar, see if those dates are available, and then relay it back to us. And then from there, you have kind of like 2 options. We have an investigate with us option, or there's bring your group out and investigate by yourselves option. And both of those, they do cost. The cheaper option is obviously to investigate with us. With the investigate with us option, all the money that you pay to come out or to go there is all donated to Old Abilene Town. And then if you do the investigate by yourself option, we only take like a little bit because we're about 20 minutes away. So we use a little bit of that for gas, but the rest of it goes back to Old Abilene Town. So all the money essentially goes back to Old Abilene Town because they are a nonprofit organization. And basically that's all they thrive off of is donations and stuff. So us donating that money to them. I think there was one group that went out there, and I think they even left a little bit of money. I know you've left a little bit of money in their little donation canisters all around the property.
Nice.
I think there's.
I'm saying now they have QR codes where you can donate to the PayPal directly.
Yeah. So.
Well, yeah, and do they have a website or a Facebook page that people can check out as well?
There is Old Abilene Town on Facebook that you can follow. They do have a website as well.
Say the website is linked to our.
Yes, website. If you do go to our website, you can click on it. When you click on Old Abilene Town, it shows all of the details for the investigation and everything. And we have a button up at the top that you can click on. It says Old Abilene Town, and it'll take you directly to their website. So I mean, it's pretty cool. I mean, with the history of it, that spot's been there. The spot itself, not the buildings itself, but the spot itself has been mapped out since back in that time frame during the times of cattle drives and everything else, because it was originally what they called the Devil's Den, and that's basically where all of the kind of what you would consider like illegal activities, then gambling, drinking, prostitution, was all done there in the Devil's Den. So and that was the first order of business for their first marshal, which was Tom Smith, or Tom Bear River Smith, as marshal, and he shut it all down, and that's the start of everything. And later on, the town was like, we need to show what got us started as a town itself, and so they set up what is now Old Abilene Town. So
I love those towns that embrace that stuff and bring that Old West era back and do that kind of stuff, and also let people like us come in and see who's hanging around from that time, because you never know. Could be Wild Bill at some point,
Right.
That'd be cool. So what's in the future for you guys? I see you doing some planning. Like, you're asking some questions, you're throwing some stuff out there. A Paracon possibly, right?
Yes. So June 26th of next year, we are looking to host our first ever Paracon. And basically this is, like I said, with, people coming out to investigate, a majority of this stuff, I want to say pretty much almost all of the money that we're planning on hopefully making for Old Abilene Town is going to go back to them. So vendors, we want to do the vendors type thing. We even are talking with them about having the gunfighters come out, because we're going to take up what would be a normal Saturday for them. So basically have the gunfighters come out and do their reenactment in front of everybody, and then basically just connect and unify with other investigators and podcasters and everybody for the day. Buy their stuff, talk to them. I know we've got a few people listed so far. We have a couple people that have confirmed on being a guest speaker. We have a few people that have confirmed on being vendors for us. I know I still got to look at talking about food trucks coming out. But at the end of the night, after everyone's done and packed up and everything, those that want to stick around or that have paid to do the investigation for the night, will investigate the entire property, because they have quite a bit of stuff. Like I said, we've only done the hotel, the saloon, the schoolhouse, and the jail, and they have a couple other buildings that we hope to get into hopefully here soon that we haven't done yet. And then of course they have they told us about basically a Native American spirit that roams a section of the grounds that I would like to spend a few nights out there camping and seeing if we can't capture talking to the spirit or meeting the spirit. So that's something that's on the list of things for us to do. So
right on. Well, I know we'll watch for that. Are you looking at a 1 day or a 2 day con?
Right now it's going to be a 1 day. We're just going to do Saturday. If we happen to get a lot of activity off of it, and a lot more interest, we might do it again the following year, and we might make it, see if we can't do it for more than a day, but we'll just have to see how everything goes.
Nice. So where can people find you? Of course, I see have the Facebook ticker across, but where can they find you to maybe do the investigation in Old Abilene Town? Facebook, you have a website as well?
The Facebook, our website should be linked in on our page on Facebook.
Okay.
It'll take you in there. You'll see a little bit about us, the people that we've met in the past, and that a lot of them that we still communicate with, upcoming events and stuff that we have, and even look at the information for Old Abilene Town and a way to reach out to us about coming out. We also have TikTok. You just look for Sunflower Investigator. That's our TikTok page. We do have an Instagram, which I'm not fully on. I don't always post to it. And I think we have an X account, and I'm not.
We do not have an X.
I thought we. Okay, I guess we don't have that. I thought
we do have a Clapper account though.
Oh yeah, we've got a few other ones that are
Right.
out there. I'm kind of mainly the social media guy, and I've not really been on all of them. So I know I should do more, but
It's tough as a small, like 2-person team to stay up on that stuff. You know, we're 4 and it's still tough. What do you have for upcoming events? Where can people see you or maybe investigate with you?
So we have, right now we have one investigation that's going to be at Old Abilene Town. We're still waiting on the other creator to confirm that she is still able to come out. And that'll be in September. We will be at the Central Kansas Paracon in Hutchinson, Kansas, September 24th to the 26th, or 26th to the 28th. Sorry.
Yep. We're coming out for that. So
Nice.
we will be excited to meet you guys there. We're also doing live interviews, so we'll bring you over and do an interview at the table.
Right on.
Yeah.
Say 24th slipped off your tongue because it's my birthday.
Yeah, 24th is her birthday, and so of course, I think it falls on the Wednesday, and then like the 26th to the 28th, we'll be there for that.
Yep.
We are also going to be at one called Border Town Paracon. It's in Caney, Kansas, very south, right there on the Kansas-Oklahoma border. It's a one-day event. It's free to the public. We'll be there, set up, and hopefully we can get some of our merch stuff set up so that we can sell some stuff. But yeah, well, that's the plan for both events. And yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. I mean, I know you mentioned one of your co-hosts was unavailable because of work. I was the same way with one of my jobs, where basically I was on call 24/7 pretty much, and I did quite a bit, and so we kind of pushed a lot of our paranormal stuff to the back burner, and so we've missed out on a lot of stuff. So hopefully that'll change, hopefully for next year, that we'll have more time to do more places. Like I said, Garnett's on the list, Sally House and Atchinson's on our list, Dilgert House, and quite a few other places that we want to go to that we have on our list that we want to check out. So
one question I always ask is bucket list place. One place that you could go investigate, no matter what it was, how much it cost, whatever. Where would you want to go investigate? And I'm going to ask both of you. So Gary, what's your place?
To me, that's a very tough one because there are so many options, even ones that are just kind of out of our financial reach.
No limit. No limit. Your top bucket list place.
Probably Waverly Hills.
Nice.
That's something
that's a good one.
Yeah, that's something I've always wanted to go to. I think I know I've seen it on Ghost Adventures. And that's kind of been some place I've wanted to go to for quite a while. So,
see, for me, it might be Trans-Allegheny or Pinehurst.
Oh, Trans-Allegheny is like a good one. I'd probably add that to my list. Yeah. Michelle, our teammate Michelle, pops in and says Waverly is at the top of her bucket list too. So I think Waverly is probably at the top of a lot of people's. It's just such a cool place.
I know for me, I have an in-state or in the state of Kansas list of places that I want to go to, and then I have a list that's basically outside the state of Kansas. And yeah, that's Waverly's kind of up there. I just know that I by myself or just the two of us couldn't afford to go by ourselves. So I know we have to go with a group. So
yep, that's the same with mine. My top of the bucket list is Brushy State Penitentiary in Tennessee, and it's one of those where you just you got to have more than one team or something, and it's large enough that you can, right? Like Waverly is big enough that you can have more people there. Help split that.
And I think that's kind of also part of the reason why they have it up so high. Not only is it for them to try and do their upkeep and keeping the lights and stuff on for them, is so that way, hey, how are you? That's Leah. So it was great for her to say hi. But yeah, I think that's part of the reason why they have it so high, is so that you can get more people in there, because some of those places are just so big,
right,
that you can't kind of do it by yourself. So that's a plus. So,
well, I think that Way Out West is going to have to add Old Abilene Town to somewhere that we want to go to, because being an Old West junkie and just that's my kind of place. So we'll add that. We'll get a hold of you guys at some point and probably trek out that way to do that.
Right on, yeah. Like I said, Saturday is their biggest day for the gunfights. I know they do it. They said that they do them on Sundays as well. But around, like, I think towards the end of July, beginning of August is where they pull back on doing the Sundays, because usually everybody's starting to come back from their vacations and road trips and such, and they kind of just want to relax a little bit before they've got to get up bright and early Monday mornings and such to get the kids ready for school. So
yep. So Leah, you said Leah.
Investigations are definitely more active.
Yep. The investigations towards the thank you guys so much. The investigations and stuff. We had a group that came out recently that they did it on a Saturday night, and I think it was like the opening day night or opening day of their gunfighter reenactments, and they said they had plenty of activity and stuff that night. So usually Saturdays is your more towards the beginning of their season, is what we were told. After May, halfway through June, you can come out at any point in time, and it's just, they said, activity city. So you get all sorts of stuff going on then. So you can come out on a Wednesday and get a whole slew of activity. So
wow,
that's something.
I bet the gunfights definitely kick some of that up.
Oh, it does. The spirits really like it out there, and as we got told by Jeff, our point of contact out there, he says that the spirits are starting to take to us because we've been out there repetitively. One night I was out over there with a tow call, and after I got done with the call, I was just right up the street from there. So I drove over there in my work truck, and I showed off my work truck, and I literally heard somebody go "ooh," as like, "Oh, that's awesome," So it's awesome to have something like that we can fall back on,
Nice.
So,
well, guys, thank you for coming on. I'm glad we were able to reschedule and get you on the show. Weather does what weather does, but at least you're here. I also look forward to bringing the guys over to the table and chatting with you during Central Kansas. So we'll be able to meet you face to face.
Oh yeah, sounds good.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on, guys. I'm going to throw you into the green room, close up the show, and I'll come back down.
Thanks for having us.
You're welcome. Well, sounds like they have a great area that they can investigate all the time with Old Abilene Town. That is right up my alley. Anyone that knows me, and I've said on here, I am an Old West junkie. Towns like Tombstone, where I've been able to go and investigate at like 1, 2, 3 in the morning. And then, of course, Cheyenne, our hometown, with all the stuff we have here, all the old brothels, all the old saloons. That Old West stuff is definitely up my alley. I think that we kind of thrive as a group in that setting. And then it's great to go about to places like Gettysburg and you get a whole different era, or like Montana. It's still that Old West, but just a little bit different time. They have that great place with Old Abilene Town. Reach out to them and get in there And then we look forward to meeting them at Central Kansas Paracon in September. So if you haven't gotten your tickets, go check out Central Kansas Paracon Facebook page. Get those tickets. People like Trimming with the Spirits, Sunflower State. Our team's going to be there. The podcast will be there. And we're excited to see everyone there. So thank you for watching Unraveling the Darkness tonight, and we will see you all next week.
Unraveling the Darkness would like to thank Horn Paranormal Research for sponsoring our show. If you're craving more paranormal content, don't forget to check out our YouTube and Facebook channels at Way Out West Paranormal and Unraveling the Darkness. You can catch all of our episodes of Unraveling the Darkness on Apple Podcasts, Facebook, and YouTube. Be sure to like and subscribe as it helps others find the show and join in on the paranormal fun. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, keep your lights on, stay safe, and remember, the truth is out there, and it might just be closer than you think.